Welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in a Pod, a podcast for the people of Glazing by the people of Glazing. I'm George Lewis, editor at the People in Glazing Society, or more commonly known as PiGs, and I'm your host. Delighted to welcome onto Two Pigs in a Pod today, Clayton Glass director Ryan Green. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Cheers, thanks, George.
As we always do, we like to have our guests introduce themselves and what they do within our industry. So, yeah, who are you and what do you do?
So, Ryan Green, I bought Clayton Glass in 2005, so 20 years ago this March, actually. We've grown the business since I acquired it every year, and we manufacture insulated glass sealed units. We now service the whole of the UK. We've got 7 manufacturing sites, and we're into residential, domestic, commercial, new build, and roof glazing. So.
And when you said you obviously you acquired Clayton Glass 20 years ago, was that your first foray into this sort of industry, or do you had previous experience before that?
No, so I'm an accountant by trade, so for my sins. So I worked at Hayward Williams at the time, which has since kind of moved out of the industry, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I was an FD there, and ultimately I became the FD of Sestrum Group, which was a division of Hayward's. And they asked me, I tried to buy a couple of businesses beforehand from them, unsuccessfully, and they asked me if I wanted to acquire Clayton Glass. It was one Christmas Eve. I got asked the question, and 8 weeks later, I was the proud owner of a glass business that I didn't know
Nice.
particularly a great deal about, other than I'd been an FD of it, but I hadn't been involved operationally in the business, and I was quite, well, pardon the pun, but I was quite green in terms of what I knew about what I was getting myself into. But never looked back since.
Nice. And what was the obviously you said the opportunity to take on Clayton Glass was given to you, but what was it that made you think actually I could see myself doing that and acquiring it? What was the reasonings behind it in this industry?
Yeah, I've always wanted to work for myself from a very young age. So I knew the industry and I saw the business. They had a sister business at the time called AG Glass, which was significantly more successful than Clayton Glass had been in the past,
Yeah.
despite being very, very similar.
Okay.
So I kind of saw the opportunity and thought, what have I got to lose? I'll give it a
Yeah.
go and make the plunge.
Nice.
And Hayward, to be fair, it was the right time and the right place for the right people. They were very supportive in terms of how they allowed me to fund that transaction. I don't think it'd be quite as easy in this day and age, to be fair.
Yeah, and what were your first impressions when you took it over? Like you said, you realised that there was potential there for the business to grow. But what was your when you first you're into the glazing industry now, the glass and glazing industry now properly? Like what was your impressions of how it was?
Yeah, I mean, my first time, I remember it quite vividly, actually. So I remember I was 28 at the time, and I remember getting the staff together, and there was 115 manufacturing guys and girls and ladies and so forth, and it was incredibly daunting. Stood on the shop floor and then looking at this young lad that they didn't really know. But yeah, everyone's been very supportive. We've still got a lot of those staff still with us today. We're now a
Nice.
team of 600 and odd
Yeah.
people, and probably the best thing for me is the people that we've met along the way and the people that have come with us on the journey. We've kind of built a really good team of friends and family, really.
Yeah, nice. And like you said, you're celebrating 20 years. Like when you first started that business, obviously you always look to own a business for us and be successful in a business. But could you see you reaching that milestone and making Clayton as successful as it is?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, we've always had really quite big ambition. I think, to be fair, we're not there yet. We've got a lot more to come. We've enjoyed what we've done. Um, I really enjoy growing the business,
Yeah,
developing it into new areas, new customers, looking after the customers we've got, changing the norm, I suppose, and challenging what people accept. So yeah, no, really, always had a vision for it, and always sort of do it because I enjoy it as a main reason.
yeah. And what would you say is other parts that favorite parts of your job? Obviously, you got like you said over 600 people to look after and stuff. But what in your day to day role? What's something you really like doing?
I'm really lucky now because I've the scale of the business that we've built has allowed me to bring in some really good people,
Yeah,
better people than the skill sets that I've got and different skill sets. So 3 years ago, I kind of, well, we formed a board, and took the decision to step to one side as a director and appoint ultimately an MD as well as the board and a senior leadership team. So we've got some really really clever people around us now, and some of those have been with us from the start. And my role's essentially a floating role, so looking at the future and looking at strategically how do we continue to grow and sort of continue the growth projection that we've had so far, which has been good and good fun. So I tend to issue a few curveballs to the team, which keeps everyone on the toes, I
Yeah.
suppose. But equally, I've got some great people that kind of do all the stuff that I'm less good at.
Yeah, and talking about the future, what does the future look like for Clayton that you're obviously allowed to say, and for the industry more importantly as a whole? Where do you see it going in the next sort of couple of years?
Yeah, the industry's huge, isn't it? I mean, we're perceived as a large player, I think, in the glass market, but in reality, we're a very very small market share. So
Yeah,
it really mattered to me or our team really, whatever the market chooses to do, there's still probably 90% of the market for us to kind of go at.
yeah,
So whether there's a 10% decline, 20% decline, it doesn't change anything that we do. We've got a new site opening in the southwest later this year, so
nice.
Swindon, which is the first kind of greenfield site that we've opened. It's an existing building, but we're doing it from scratch, so we've not acquired it, which is interesting.
Yeah,
And we've got a few new products and a few um, initiatives that we're going to bring to market. Sort of, well, we've just actually signed up just this morning to the Fit Show, so
nice.
going to use
Congratulations.
the Fit Show platform to launch a new initiative that we've got planned.
Yeah, and do you like? I'm guessing you probably go to the fit shows and the like bit before that, before Clayton signed up. But what do you like going to exhibitions? Do you feel like Clayton and yourself get a lot out of them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, meeting people and seeing people, isn't it? This industry is fantastic, and it's all about the people
Yeah,
for me. And whether that's the people within the business that work for us, or the supply chain, or the customers, people is what makes this business different. And that's what we do. What we do, we try and put people at the center of everything. And
yeah,
the glass is almost a bit of a sideshow, to be honest. It's
yeah,
glass is glass. It's hard to sell the USPs of glass when all you really do is look through it. But there actually is a lot of technical benefits to glass that but equally the service is as bigger proposition to
yeah. Do you feel a bit
the
like sometimes in our industry, the UPVC and the aluminiums of the world get the sort of catch the headlines rather than the glass. Do you sometimes think
yeah,
we play a really big part in obviously in windows and doors, but actually in the sustainability side, the U values and all that sort of thing, we actually play a big part as well as on the glass side.
yeah, definitely. I think a handle's nice. Well, a nice sexy handle's something nice to look at, isn't it? And feel and all the rest of it. Whereas a piece of glass, you the purpose is to look straight through it and not see the
Yeah,
glass actually, but see your garden or the view or whatever. I think that the thing that we struggle with as an industry is getting the technical merits of glass and the coatings that you can now
yeah,
achieve, through to the consumer, so they understand. Yes, the U value is important, but actually, if it's south facing, solar control is equally important, or noise reduction, or UV reduction. So there's a whole load of technical elements to glass that we as an industry struggle to get to the consumer
yeah.
because we're too far removed essentially as glass processors.
Yeah. Do you feel like that message is getting through, but albeit slowly, that message to the consumer is getting through, that they understand, the benefits of, like you said, solar glass and sustainability in terms of what goes into to make the glass. Do you think that message is slowly filtering through?
Yeah, I think the larger retailers are conveying that message, and to some of the good installer retailers that yes, absolutely they are. They have
Yeah.
they have got that. But equally, there's a whole bunch that it's just sold on a piece of glass looking through it. I think
Yeah.
legislation, obviously, in new build is driving some of those specifications anyway, and then ultimately that will feed through to the domestic home improvement market. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And do you think talking about sort of the skills gap and trying to get people into our industry, which obviously, we've said on every episode of this podcast that, we're trying to get people into the industry. Do you think things like, yeah, those sort of sustainability type things and will entice potentially a new generation, or do you think that's just too,
I think
there's other ways to do it, to go at it?
it's really hard. I think we invest an awful lot. I mean, we've probably got over £10 million of machinery invested in the business, and say 600 people, so a significant amount of cost in the business. But you're up against our industry is it can be quite physical. It also can be quite dirty.
Yeah,
It's in a manufacturing environment. You're handling glass, which is delicate, but equally it's a dangerous product to handle. Or you could go work in Tesco's or McDonald's and probably earn similar money. And I
yeah,
think margins in glass are so slim, it doesn't give you lots of opportunity to kind of upscale the kind of the labor and the wages and so forth. So
yeah.
you're constantly battling. So it's a real challenge. And I haven't got the solution. We just try and look after the people we've got and
Yeah, that's what I was
try and
gonna say. Does that make it more important to keep the people that you've grown with,
100%.
grown the
Yeah,
businesses with, to keep them?
100%, and attract new talent. Retaining people.
Yeah,
One thing we did a few years ago was give everyone they have the holidays obviously, but we insist they have the birthday off on
yeah,
holiday, so they all get an extra day, and they haven't got a choice. You've got to take it off, and that's really gone down quite well. But it's not it's one initiative. It's not enough, and we're quite focused on what we need to do to value the people that kind of contribute to our business, because it's
yeah.
not about me, the business. It's absolutely a team effort.
Yeah, and do you think the reason why some people stay at Clayton Glass for many years, like you said, and that you've worked with them for many years, is that is that progression up the ladder as such from within the company?
Yeah, I hope so. A lot of individuals have grown significantly. Kind of one of our senior operations managers started off on the shop floor with me 20 years ago, and
Yeah,
he's still with us. And there's a few examples of that in the business, and we've obviously grown. So with that growth comes further opportunities, and so yeah, we've definitely brought people with us, but equally we look for new people outside the business and try and uh, try and draw people in and
yeah,
retain the best people, because ultimately I'm of the opinion people's what make our business different
yeah.
and better than the competition out there.
Yeah, and going on to sort of the people within the company, at back end of 2024, you acquired Oakland Glass, as to bring into the Clayton family. Sort of, how did that come about, and how's it been in the first few months since that acquisition?
Yeah, it was very very quick. It wasn't something strategically we were looking to do with Oakland. We had tried to acquire them previously from Tina and Rick before they sold. But unsuccessfully. And a customer made me aware, actually, Jim Moody in a trade link made me aware of the potential. So we kind of met with the guys who owned Oakland Glass at the time. They needed to exit quite quickly.
Yeah,
I knew Oakland Glass. It's a great business. The people are great. It's got a good reputation. Um, it suited the geography of where we were. So we kind of stepped in, and yeah, a couple of weeks later, that was it. The deal was done, and we're kind of now having quite a bit of fun rebuilding that business, investing in it. Tina's back with us, which is great.
nice.
Um, yeah, no, it's good. It's going well, I think.
Yeah, and did you think it's obviously you're one of potential people that could have saved you was aware about it, but the sort of the pressure that this industry is under, we worry about other companies going under. Do you feel that pressure that when there is a market opportunity, or is it just literally a strategic opportunity that you had to take?
Um, we wouldn't do anything for it needs to fit our business, is
Yeah,
why an Oakland Glass fits it. The insolvencies in the business are 100% worrying, and that's probably the my least favorite part of this industry. And that some of those insolvencies are self-inflicted, and I have little sympathy in those instances, and other found themselves due to misfortune. And in this instance, there was 100 great people that
yeah.
worked at Oakland, and I felt it was a business that was absolutely worth investing in, and so put my money where my mouth was and got on and did it. Basically.
Nice. And you're speaking of about the industry in general. Is there anything you've seen that we can speak in 2025? Any positives that we can look forward to? Hopefully, with a better year than for many than last year.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the government. We've got the challenges of national insurance and minimum wage. That's
Yeah,
definitely going to hit in April. That's not necessarily upside, but I think that they're talking the talk in terms of growth. I think what we need to see now is some actual action from them, which will hopefully stimulate, in particular, the new build and social housing market,
yeah,
and then try and get some consumer confidence back. But to be fair, this year for us has started quite strong. We're
good.
quite pleased with the way it's going. We've got some good plans internally that regardless of, I say, what the market does, we intend to grow, both organically and continue to look at acquisitions. And we're very much open minded to where we go next. But we haven't stopped doing what we're doing. We're definitely pushing forward and investing quite heavily, really.
Nice. And you say you don't not stopping what you're doing alongside Clayton Glass. Obviously, Clayton Glass are part of the National Glass Group, but you head that up. So, like, can you explain what that is for people that don't know what it is?
Yeah, it's a collaboration, really. So 10 years ago, we were chatting at a bar, and
All the best things happen at bars.
they do, yeah. It was quite late at night. There was no alcohol involved, or not that I recall. And we were just talking about, that wouldn't it be great if you could actually collaborate honestly with people and benchmark each other and actually support each other? Because owning a business looks fantastic, doesn't it? You get a nice car and all the rest of it, but it can actually be quite lonely. And I
Yeah.
think in terms of honesty from people, it's rare to get an honest opinion back when you ask various questions. Most people have a motivation as to an angle where they personally are. So to be able to share and talk to people who are in a similar position to yourself has been really, really productive. So National Glass Group is a buying group, essentially. So we collectively procure glass and other components, etc., and products and so forth, for the four businesses that are in the group. And we're the largest glass buying group in the UK, which obviously gives us buying power. But I think more importantly, it gives us we meet on a weekly basis, and we bounce lots and lots of ideas off each other. And don't get me wrong, we actually compete with each other as well, quite aggressively.
Yeah.
But generally, it's lasted the test of time, really, and we're into our 10th year of that, and yeah, it works for the business. It adds resilience as well. I think COVID, etc., and machine breakdowns. We support each other as a group. So if we have a problem, one of the other members will help us out, and vice versa. So
Yeah, and do you think it's important? You sort of touched on it there about the collaboration between companies, potentially, rival companies. Do you think it's important for our industry as a whole to actually, on certain things, work together?
yeah, 100%. I mean, it needs to be compliant and competition law and all that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
100%, in terms of the good ideas, two minds in a room versus one achieves far, far more. And we've done a lot of association with, working with Ultian at the moment on a little project, and that's really quite interesting and fun. Likewise, Selector Systems are doing a little project with those guys.
yeah,
So we're always trying to collaborate with people, because I think two minds are better than one, without a
yeah.
doubt.
And have you seen that collaboration, just from your point of view, happening more in our industry? I feel like from my point of view, you're seeing a lot more companies working together to actually, for the benefit of everyone, really. Like, even if they are directly rival each other, that actually the bigger picture is better.
I think there's natural consolidation in the market, isn't there? So you're naturally seeing people talking through consolidation, but
Yeah,
equally your pigs events, that's the
exactly.
perfect forum to encourage that kind of behaviour. And one thing I'd say is this industry is all about the people, and
Yeah.
the people make this industry, and that for me should be encouraged, because there's a lot of good people out there that make this industry so fun. It's good.
Yeah. And lastly, you spent 20 years in the industry now, or a bit more, but have you got three words that you could use to describe this industry and how it's been for you?
Yeah, I have. I've thought about this. So I think the three things is it's a testing industry. I think undoubtedly it's not straightforward. And collaborative thinking, that for me is something that I love about this industry. And
Yeah.
and the last thing, I suppose, is a generic kind of word, which is family. And I don't mean my
Nice.
personal family, but
Yeah.
the business family, the supply chain, the customers, the staff. That's what makes this industry so unique for me.
Yeah.
It's the people in the business, in the industry.
Yeah, I like that. I like that family. Yes, I don't think we've had that on the podcast before, but yeah, there is a real family feel to it, isn't it? There's like you said, there's a lot of good people in it that you want to spend time with, and work together with, and it's important because you spend so much time at work.
And I was 28 when I came into the glass industry, and 25 when I came into the window fenestration industry. And
Yeah,
I'm now 48, and I'm gone from one of these young whippersnappers to one of the old fogies, actually. And I'm seeing people around me growing up as people, kids going into parents and so forth, and
yeah,
growing. careers, and it's just fantastic to see. It's yeah, very fortunate in that respect.
Nice. Well, yeah, thanks, Ryan. We're going to move on to our quick fire question round. If you've seen our previous episode, we like to give our guests the chance to answer them without thinking about it. So they're just very easy questions. But yeah, so I'll do the first one of, do you prefer talking by email or by phone?
100% phone.
Nice. What's your favorite thing to do outside of work?
Yeah, skiing actually. Just come back from a ski trip.
Okay, nice. Good skier?
Yeah, my son would call me intermediate while he was calling himself advanced, but yeah, not bad.
What's your go-to meal? If you could choose any meal to have on a desert island, say, what would be go-to meal?
Probably Italian, something with garlic.
Nice. Where's your favorite place to visit?
Portugal.
Nice. When do you feel most in the zone? Are you sort of a morning person or a late night emailing
No,
people?
100% morning. So I'm find myself in the gym by about 6:30, and yeah,
Wow,
that's my favorite time.
amazing. What do you see yourself doing in 5 years' time with yourself personally and in the business?
Yeah, more of the same. Just keep on enjoying what we're doing, and let's just crack on. And yeah, I mean, I'm in a really lucky position, and the business just needs to keep on growing, and that's what we're focused on achieving.
Nice. And lastly, to go back to the industry, if we was to jump on this podcast again in a year's time, do you think it'll be in a better place or worse place or about the same?
I hope it will be in a better place. I don't think it can get from where we've come from. I think it's been a pretty tough couple of years, and I
Yeah.
think this year will be tough equally. And people need to look at themselves and sort of dig deep and go for growth. Is
Yeah.
my opinion. I think we need
Nice.
to stop talking the industry down and start creating some opportunities for people, because there are lots of opportunities out there. We just need to grab them.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a good way to end the main part of the podcast. Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Ryan. And for our last bit of the podcast, we like to give our guests a chance to shout out people. It can be, friends, family, people in the industry, whoever you like. So yeah, fire away.
Yeah, I've thought about this as well. We're not naming specific. I just like refer back to that word family, because
Yeah.
I honestly think both personal family being very supportive of me, but equally this the industry family. They're just all a great bunch, and yes, we compete. Yes, it's tough, but actually deep down, they're all decent people out there, and there's a lot of good people. So yeah, the whole industry for me, family.
Nice. For the whole industry. I like that. Well, thanks very much, Ryan, for coming on today. Yeah, it was really interesting to hear, about obviously Clayton Glass's, progress in the world and what's next.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cheers, George.
So thanks for joining us for Two Pigs in a Pod today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find this episode and all others on our website, www.peopleinglazing.co.uk, on our YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts from. So thanks once again to Ryan, and see you again soon.